Everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuba. Welcome back. If this is your 15th The Rookie Feds episode review, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the big old world. Again, I said this yesterday with the rookie side of things. It's been a long time. I know it's only been 2-3 weeks since our last episode review, but it felt like a long time. It just feels like ages ago. But we're back. We're back in full force. Literally, for me, I'm being thrown back into the gate with even more reviews to do, more stuff to cover, and I'm very happy for it. I'm very excited to be back in the ship with y'all, continuing the train. But we are pushing along. After this week, we have 7 more episodes left in the season, which it doesn't seem like that long. But keep in mind, remember that's only maybe 2 months more worth of episode, and the season's over in May, so. There will be some hefty weeks where we don't get anything, but we shall see. We will see. We're still waiting on the word when the renewals are. I'm waiting for them ABC. I feel like Rookie and Feds have impressed a lot of people this year. I feel like we should be a little bit overdue for an early renewal. I'm just letting you know that. Just saying. Just stating it out there. But this week on Rookie Feds, after I feel so not bad about it. I mean, definitely this episode felt like a natural follow-up to some other things they did earlier this season. On the rookie side of things this week, we had kind of like a pseudo-Feds crossover with Garza, Laura, and Brendan lending their talents over on the rookie side of things for that episode. And this is just kind of just regular Feds fare, which again is fine, but I'm still not liking how much Feds gets a little bit they don't get as much rookie assets. I mean, yeah, we get Smithy, I know. We get Smithy once in a blue moon, but I'm just saying, I miss equality. I want some equality on both shows. Not to say we don't get something, but I want both. But anywho, for this week's episode, yeah, we are. This was a very much of a character progression episode, as these characters are continuing towards we are making substantial progress with their relationship with each other, or generally speaking, just trying to figure out what is next for them, or how should they handle things differently as they go forward in life. And I feel like that's the phrase in going forward, how do we keep going forward despite the circumstances that present us, and how do we manage to tackle that equally. But honestly, for me, once again, this was another great episode of Feds, and I can't wait to see what more shenanigans they have in store. As obviously right now we're in another stretch of Feds episodes, and also I apologize, my legs are tired. They leg day today, so I'm a little bit sore for the wear. But anyway, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie Feds. So we begin with another pseudo code opening with there's a guy in the middle of a warehouse. He's tied down, begging for his life as always. Mysterious person shoots him and kills him, and that's where we kind of begin. We cut over to Simone's residence, where she's obviously prepping the garage for her brand new, kind of her independent apartment of sorts. So she's clearing out some stuff to move out, and she finds a mysterious box that Cuddy owns, and then she's obviously, harassing him about, hey, what's in the box? What's in the box? He's not budging, being the grumpy old person he is, doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to open it, and tells Simone to back off. Simone is not able to proceed forward with the conversation since she gets called away to go handle a case, which she does head over there. But before we get to that, Carter is at the hospital once again, which I'm like, Carter, you are a very diligent man. How are you getting hurt? Turns out he's faking these injuries just so he can see his nurse girlfriend, the daughter of the inmate we saw back last year, which we also saw again, the daughter again a few weeks ago. So yeah, they're dating now. It's only been a few days, but Carter wants to spend more time with her since their schedules are pretty crazy. So he will gladly fake an injury just to see her for a few minutes. So that's pretty much ongoing. They get called over to the warehouse scene from the cold open. All 5 are together again. Garza picked up this case for whatever reason. I don't know. Garza, remember, he likes to handpick his cases, so he knows it's a guaranteed win. Just we're winning. We ain't losing, which I'm like, fair point, but eventually you're gonna have to lose a case. I mean, that's just kind of inevitable. It is a TV show, so I'm like, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. So they're approaching him. They're getting the facts of the information. Apparently, this guy was supposedly dead 6 years ago. So now they're confused. So wait. So this guy was declared deceased 6 years ago, and now here he is standing in front of us. He's dead again. And they're like, okay, so maybe it's the same murderer from last time. And they're like, well, no, because the woman's in jail, in prison. She just got out on good behavior. Which I'm like, I don't know if that's entirely right, because like again, like it's still like they just found out he was alive again, and if she was sentenced for his murder, I don't think 6 years is like that they probably did something out of it, and I didn't really pay attention, to be honest with you. So they're gonna go explore that angle, see where she's at, and see if like maybe she's like the outlet icon, maybe she's finishing what she started, or maybe she never really did it. Who the heck really knows? So they gotta follow suit on that. Brendan goes over, delivers some fiber samples over to his now his forensics girlfriend, who's also filming a video of herself for the academy, for prospective agents that want to be in her specific division. But she's not really having a good light to it, and obviously Brendan, having a lot of experience on set, wants his sister, wants to glamour this video, which I'm like, for even me who has seen plenty of instruction videos in his day. I don't know, Brendan. I don't know. Like, I understand you wanna get back to the camera work. I understand that, but like, still, when you start to like, mess with work life, with a relationship, I don't know. That's really a smart move. But he makes her persist, and they manage to, part for her, she agrees to help him, allow him to film her video. We cut back over to, I want to say, so Simone goes to visit the last living relative to the guy who just died, his sister, who's been taking care of his son, because obviously since he died, well, supposedly he died, and the mom was sentenced to prison. The son was sentenced over to him. And yeah, she's filling in like, it's like, this is all very, it's so surreal, because like, what do we do with this case? Because like, it's not like he came back and then he died. Like, no, they just never knew he was alive, and now he's dead again. So I'm like, did anything really change? I mean, it's not like they had a final visit from him, but regardless of the case, like, might be, they want to talk to the wife. They want to see, like, the ex-wife. They want to see what she knew, and like maybe she did do something. She's like, well, yeah, she did stop by a week ago to try and see her son, even though like, that's against court orders. Like, she cannot be near her son right now, because technically she's not 100% really cleared of everything that she was accused of. But regardless, she still came through, and he's at his soccer game right now, so they go off to go check him out, make sure he's okay and not around the mom. I want to say Brendan and Laura are still investigating another plot point. I really forgot which one it was, but eventually I want to say there's a bit of a break. I know Brendan and Laura eventually do get to leave via the forensics. That the guy that died met up with another dude, dropping out passport photos and everything, and. Oh, that reminds me. There was this is obviously a rookie crossover thing. So I forgot to mention it in the rookie review, where the lawyer, Wesley's ex, mentioned that, like, I'm not going to be a witness protection, get sentenced to Nebraska to open up a Cinnabon, which I'm like, hey, I'm just saying, Cinnabon is exactly where I want to be in my retirement. YouTube would be over. These reviews would be over. My job would be done. My duties as whatever I am as in the future are done. I want to own a Cinnabon. So that's perfectly for me. Also, I appreciate the Better Call Saul reference. Anywho, so back to the main plot. So eventually she manages to figure out, like, oh yeah, this guy had a parking slip, so that confirms his location. They get the security footage, and they find him. So he was kidnapped by someone, but they don't really know who it was. So they go up to the guy, which is a mortician. So they go to visit him, and he's in the middle of burning evidence in his furnace. He tries to evade capture. It was a pretty funny, hilarious chase sequence. Even they run for a funeral. They believe he gets away, but it turns out he was hiding in a demo casket. So, which I'm like, dude, this is not your what's the word? This is not your strongest moment. Anywho, Simone and Carter go to see the son, and the son is there at the soccer game, but the mom's there as well. So they arrest her under suspicion of, possibly killing the husband, and they fill in the details. We're like, yeah, like, I don't think it was clarified 100% if she knew he died, but like, even like when she found out, like, yeah, he never died, he just faked his death and everything, she was like kind of, negatively affected, because like, well, if he was trying to escape, okay, yeah, I mean, I knew he had like a powerful client that like probably maybe could have done something to him, but like, did he really have to like fake his death to the point where like I was the murderer and I had to lose 6 years of my life in prison while my son was being raised away from me? I understand her point. Like, obviously, again, like, at this point we don't understand all the details, but I'm like, yeah, I feel incredibly bad for her. Like, she didn't deserve this. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just a caring wife and like a caring mother, and like this is the way she was repaid. So now they're gonna focus on the shady businessman who is also at the graveyard where the guy's supposed body was buried, which actually was a very small metal case that supposedly had a bunch of money in it, but it only has $100 in it. So the guy gets pissed. He shoots a graveyard keeper, puts him in the freaking hole. Like, they actually showcased him falling in the hole, which I'm like, that was honestly pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. And I know that was attempted murder. I get that, but still, it was funny in my books. Well, that sounds kind of dark, but like, you know, sometimes I have dark humor moments, so deal with it. I want to say after that point, we get to the night point, and I guess they just take a break for the day because they're not really getting any much more information. I know Simone takes the mom away for a little bit to kind of get some, you know, what's the next step she should do, because like, okay, she's not the murderer. They cleared that already. However, the problem is that, you know, that's still in the legal system. Like, it isn't just, oh, you're not the murderer. That's great. Like, okay, yeah, it's a fact now, but it's still got to be legally proven in court, which can take a while. It can be a process, and it could be some time and to like overturn everything that happened against her. So where is she gonna go? Because, you know, she has no money. She's been out of prison for like a couple of weeks. She has literally no income. So Simone decides to take her to her dad's to finally we get to see that bakery, and honestly, I want a piece of pie right now. I really want a piece of pie. So they talk. They have a little bit of banter, and he admits, like, yeah, I'm ready to help. I understand what position you were in, and, you know, I definitely am trying to help as many people as I can. So definitely, for sure, like, I can, you know, maybe get a lawyer that could do pro bono work for you. You know, we definitely can do something for you to help you out. So again, Cutter being the man right now, being honestly the people person at this moment. We cut to that night where Brendan is shooting the video for Antoinette, and I'm just saying, like, bro, this guy went all out. Like, again, it's a video for the Academy that's, I'm pretty sure, only going to be for like a few years. Like, Brendan really did not have to like use this much resource and everything. Again, it's appreciated. But Brendan goes a little bit director crazy, like wanting to like control every shot and everything. And Antoinette gets annoyed because, like, yeah, this isn't your video, this is mine, and like you're just making this all about you. So she decides to leave and cancel the shoot altogether. Carter goes back to the hospital to meet up with his girlfriend to go have some dinner. However, he gets a call from his ex-wife, well, his soon-to-be ex-wife, saying that the move is official. She is going to take their son across the country to start a brand new life. However, she wants him to sign over his full custody over to her so that, you know, she can start a brand new life. Because again, like, for me personally, like, yeah, it sucks. In this case, like, is it always have to be them? Like, okay, so brief side story. My parents are divorced. So going for that divorce, I can't understand the hassles of it. My parents were very, very smart to agree. Like, yeah, let's just leave it with I was left with my mom for a while, but we were still very close by. We were still very close. So it wasn't really much totally changed per se. But for Carter's case, understandably, you know, again, A, he's all the way far away, and B, he's being punished for his career choice in a way where, like, yeah, he's not the most stable parent to have a 9-to-5, to have a guaranteed schedule with his son. It does suck. It really does suck. And that's just the reality of it. That was the profession he chose. And, you know, you can't blame his wife for not being happy that there isn't a sustainability with him right now. And he's not totally satisfied where he is. So, again, all this is not surprising, but it just really sucks that, like, yeah, Carter's being punished for this, and, you know, having to lose his son and having to like sign them over, like it's not comfortable. I can understand that. But he's trying to hide this up from her because obviously they're still in a brand new relationship. He doesn't want to, like, you know, pressure her too much with all of his life problems yet. And even she admits, like, well, yeah, like, you know, I initially, recently I decided not to have kids, but then after having a patient very recently, that was a baby, then I kind of changed my mind. I want to have babies someday. But obviously for her, like, you know, she doesn't want to mention that to him because, like, you know, they're just, again, still in a new relationship that's also building pressure of, like, I want to have kids someday. So if we're dating, it's going to have to lead to that at some point. But Carl understood, like, no, that's not an issue here. So they're about to go out to eat, or he gets called over back to the office to resume the investigation. The graveyard keeper apparently survived the bullet wounds somehow. So he's in the hospital cooperating. So they're going to go over there and interrogate him, see what he knows. And he does manage to give them some pieces of information, and they're able to get a positive ID on the guy. It's a local drug lord that most likely got in cahoots with the guy who was an investment banker. They also find out the alias that the guy used when he faked his death the first time, because he was about to fake his death again for the second time before he actually died. So apparently with his new identity, he moved to Salt Lake City, started a brand new life, had a brand new wife, and came back to LA to get some affairs in order before once again trying to escape again, like, trying to get away from it all, and this time actually cashing out the money. But however, that's when they get kidnapped. So they head over to the guy's house in Salt Lake City. They go meet the wife, and obviously she's so confused because like she doesn't know at first. Like, wait, so this guy wasn't even that guy? Was someone completely else? Like, that makes zero sense. Like, I thought I knew him, and obviously it does suck, but that's just the reality of the case. So while they're doing that, Simone and Carter go to make the bust against the dude. A brief gunfight ensues. They skip in a car. We get to a car chase scene. It goes a little bit lengthy, but eventually Simone manages to like hit him over and get them arrested, putting an end to him because again with the bullet evidence, everything they have against him, like that's an open and shut case. But there's some missing pieces because like he didn't really know, he wasn't even actively looking for him to be per se. But it turns out that the new wife apparently wasn't a chance encounter that after he started his new life. Apparently it wasn't a fair. At the time he was with his wife, and then they both decided like, we should start fresh, start a new life, just us. We should move somewhere else, fake his death, and then just pin the murder on his wife, which I'm like, that's kind of shitty. Because it was one thing where he faked his death to protect himself, and he sadly didn't really think of every single step that sadly got his wife in prison. That was plausibly okay. But the fact that he left his wife, cheated on her, was abandoned his entire life with his own son to start fresh with a new woman is like, yeah, that's pretty shitty of him. That really, I have really no remorse for him. But so they arrest the new wife on that front, being the original mastermind behind all this, and most likely when she got whiffed that he was trying to leave again, she snitched on him and hopefully was about to cash out, but the money was already gone. So yeah, that's all well and done. But thankfully, the first wife, managed to get a little bit of gravitas since she gets unofficial pro bono lawyer to do her case to appeal to she's legally not guilty, and also to begin the proceeding to get her son back. So definitely there is a good progression there. That there is progress there. But that opens and shut the case really in that front. So just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, Carter goes back to his girlfriend, explains to her he didn't leave. Ironically, right away, as soon as she told him that, I want to have babies at some point, it wasn't because of that, because he had work and obviously his issue with his ex-wife and everything. So thankfully, communication, it's understandable, it works, and they're okay. So that's good to hear. Brandon makes up with Antoinette, saying that he's been kind of missing the camera lifestyle. He doesn't want to go back to acting, but he does miss the creativity side that he used to have when he was on set. So Antoinette decides to sign them up for some intro to art painting class, which I'm like, why? But regardless of that, it's pretty funny to see. So they're all good to go. Simone heads back home. She meets up with her dad again, having a nice dinner. He gives her the box, opens it up for her, reveals that this was all the mementos that he have about her mom, mainly letters that she wrote to him when he was in prison. That was mainly, kind of counting down the days that, he had left before he was able to come home and everything. And that the only reason why he locked them up because he felt so regretful that, he lost 6 years with them. And by the time he came back, they only had less than 2 years before she was taken away. So it hurts. It really hurts that he didn't get to have the time he deserved with her. And, he kind of wanted to repress that, lock that away for a little bit. But now, it's been a lot of decades since that moment, so I'm like, yeah, it definitely is time to kind of re-dig those up and process them, which again, it makes sense for him right now. And Simone even reads one of the letters, and it's tearful that sadly these sort of things happen. Sometimes there is good resolution, sometimes there isn't good resolutions. The best we could do is just carry forward as best we could and hope for the best as always. But it was a nice bonding moment to see both of them, cooperating, understanding each other. Again, much more on a deeper scale. Their relationship wasn't entirely the best before the show started, but now it's slowly improving. It's slowly getting better, which is great to see. And that was the end of this week's episode of The Rookie. Thanks. For me, I thought it was great. Definitely not fantastic. Definitely not amazing, so to speak. But this was great. In terms of the main mystery itself, it was not simplistic, but definitely wasn't again, groundbreaking, but it was still fun to see the twists and turns as always. Seeing the theme of just, moving on, what to do carrying on and figuring out the next step was definitely prevalent here. It's like, you know, you always want to make sure your next step is the right one, and as well as, you know, the correct one to make. And I feel like that was the right choice to make. But definitely powerful. All fires on for all the storylines this week. I think everything was purposeful. Everything had a reason, and definitely everything had it definitely assisted and benefited the characters moving forward, as always. Especially with Carter and Simone, as they're both really into what is next for them in their personal lives. But for me, I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of The Rookie Feds. I would love to have a conversation with you down below. And I believe that's gonna do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the hopeful first season of The Rookie Feds. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two, besides our Rookie Feds episode review, we are always doing Walker Independence, and Rookie episode reviews each and every week after they have brand new episodes on their respective programming sites. But however, if you don't care about Rookie Feds, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode review, so stay tuned until then. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not. Ring the bell, like, favorite, share if you want to, and as well as follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Feds out there, I'll see you all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always,